Hello, everyone. Again, today we have with us, one of our really efficient optimal EFT practitioners. She's also the director of the Gary Craig Official EFT Training Center in the Dutch language. And she's an MD. It's Dr. Gabrielle Rutten. I'm going to say hello, Gabrielle. Are you there? There you are.
Hi.
Okay, our topic today is one of the more sophisticated topics having to do with our advanced course, the optimal EFT course for our members and so on. It has to do with the term association versus dissociation. Now, some people are familiar with what those two terms are, but not everybody is. So could you describe the difference between what's known as dissociation and association?
Yes. It's got to do with how your memory works and how you relive things. So association means that you relive a past memory as if it's happening right now, which means you step into the moment, you look through your own eyes, and whatever happens, happens there.
To take our war veteran, for example, I know from great experience, if I just started right in, let's get into all of this. We want to start off dissociated. It's more like sitting in the movie theater in a seat in the movie theater, watching the movie out there. It's more comfortable to do. And
Yes.
So we can aim at parts of it and specific pieces of it and one thing and another and start to make it more comfortable. Take the edge off. But eventually, if we're going to do the job well, they've got to get right back in that movie, right at that moment. They've got to hear those screams. They've got to smell those smells. They've got to associate, feel those feelings, and then we can collapse. It's really easy to just kind of stay on the sidelines somehow. But you're talking about that's associate.
Yes. And so if you want to work on, obviously, if there's like big childhood trauma, you start dissociatedly, in a dissociative way, or whatever the expression is. However, you need to keep working on that event until you are able to go through it in an associated way, so that you can test whether there's still aspects there or whatever else, because the complete reaction needs to be zero, peaceful.
Yeah, the way I tend to say it is, even the most traumatic of events, if we've done this job well and done it thoroughly, it will be something like when you were 5 years old, you fell off your bicycle, you skinned your knee. It hurt at the time, but now you look back at it and go, oh, okay. It's just one more event that happened in your world. Okay.
But what I
My-
would like to point out is that you don't look back at it and remember that, you know, you were 5 and stuff, but you have to become 5, be on this bike, and really fall down. So you need to relive the moment. That's association.
Okay, but yes. What I'm saying with that example, though, is a little different than that. It's once you have done a truly traumatic event, not falling off your bicycle at age 5, but a truly traumatic event, and you've done it well and thoroughly with association and all of that, your response to it would be similar to what, well, I fell off my bike when I was age 5, and
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
okay, and so on. I know sometimes, comment on this if you would, Gabrielle. Sometimes I'm dealing with a client and we're working on specific events and we're getting better and better and better at the specific events. And the client will say to me words like, I feel it's more distant now. Okay. Well, I hear one of two things, and I often will ask the client about this. I'll say, distant. Okay. Like you're in the movie theater watching on a movie now, or it's just all blurry or doesn't matter much. And
I see this a man coming towards me, and they have to tell in present tense and go through the whole scene again, just to check whether they are, if they are associated in the event. Nothing happens anymore, and only then can you say, you know, it's all tested and it's done.
yeah.
The reason being is because you want the link between the trigger and the stress response needs to be severed. The link should not work anymore.
Yeah. And
in this past event.
in one sense, doing association really thoroughly could involve all the senses. I'm thinking of something like, well, it could be a war trauma or a sexual trauma. The smells, the
Oh yeah,
tastes, the sounds, the grunts, the screams, you know, all of that
absolutely.
are trigger points.
Yes, absolutely.
And you get to those when you're associated. People don't want to associate typically.
No. And so you need to work dissociatedly if need be until it's doable, because and you need reframes for this, because whatever happened, it's in the past, it's done, it will never happen again. You somehow got through it. And so however awful the past event is, you're here now looking back at it. That's, you know, healthy dissociation. However, to really resolve the thing, you need to work on it in an associative way. And I'd like to point out that even the most horrific stuff you can resolve because it's in the past. People sometimes make the mistake that they say, well, this was so awful, next time it happens I'll be upset again. Of course, because next time is not a test for something that, you know, is behind you. So you can always let the past in the now. But what we're doing is we make sure that whatever happened in your past isn't contributing to it, you're not carrying it around with you. So this is why this distinction between dissociation and association is very important.
Sure. Got it. Point really well made. Anything else you want to say on that, Gabrielle, before we close up?
No, I think this is it.
All right. Well, with a great big hug to you from California to Holland.
Yes, big hug back.
All right. All right. Next time.